Welcome back to the FitBiz Journey Podcast with your hosts, Parita, Daniel, and Lizzie. We have an awesome special guest today. He is back. He is right there in front of us, Will Grant, professional BMX rider, as well as a social media influencer today. So we're really excited to talk about all things social media, kind of how he got to where he is today. So let's just take it away and go from there.
Yeah, social media has definitely been a huge part in everything I do. It's free. It's changing marketing. It's changing of how we reach people. Absolutely. And it's like, especially the younger generations, what are they doing all day? They're sitting there on their phones, on their tablets, consuming content. So you could either be, I tell this to my friends all the time, you could either be the one sitting on your phone consuming the content, or you could be out producing the content. And that's the difference in, making your dreams happen and not.
And you were a consumer first, right?
Yeah.
Until in the previous episode we learned, you had the injury and lots of things and self-realization, and now you became an influencer. So can you tell the people how you went from that to now an influencer?
Yeah. Well, through race and bikes and some modeling, I did have a pretty good following on Instagram, but YouTube was just something I tried a couple years ago in the past, but I just wasn't smart. Everything of where I was at that time in my life, I was not ready for it. It's not really as easy. YouTube can be a bit challenging, but once I started going into each session with each video session, each editing session, not just trying to get it done, but trying to do my absolute best of bringing as much value as I possibly can, and with each session, how can I improve on the next one? And then not getting down on myself like, oh no, this is bad, because there's been times where I videoed a whole film, and then when it came down to editing, I'm thinking like, there's no way I can put this out. You know what I mean? This is awful, everything about it. And then I just say, okay, what's the best I can possibly do with this right now? If this is game time, if I'm up on the gate, what do I got? And this is what I got, and this is the best that I can do. And when I just kept doing that, checking in, day after day after day of just improving and getting better, and with my main focus on not getting it done and doing it because of what I want from it, but okay, how can I help? What do I know? What have I done that I could somehow learn how to put this in a content format in order to help as many people as I possibly can? And then everything else will happen for me. If I just keep putting my focus on helping other people and just helping as many people as I can, and then once I run out of things to help, guess what? That means I'm not progressing myself enough.
Exactly.
And then, so it's also another way that I have to keep progressing, I have to keep learning, I have to keep challenging myself, and then I want to video that whole process and create content through that whole process in order to not just to say, oh, look at how great I am and all these great things that I've done, but I want to do great so I can make the world great. Because this world is my home, it's your home. Yeah. So the better that I could help the world, the better that I could help my community, that's the better my community is. That's the better my world is.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so do you have a specific target of people that you're trying to engage more so? Or a specific plan of like, this is exactly what I'm standing for?
It's funny because I know you're supposed to find that niche, but right now it's like I've started all of this stuck under 4,000 steps. For people who don't know, I've been injured for the past year, so I've literally been on house arrest. Like I've not really been able to leave the house, can't even go to the grocery store because I go over my steps. So I've been having to put everything just stuck in my house, reading and meditating and breathing, and I've made a couple films. Okay, I go to this park, and then I was KO'd for 3 days because I was, it was throwing my recovery off. But I just want to, I know what I want, and I see my vision of how that I can help, and I just want to keep progressing myself, and then in turn I will just video that process and to help people, and then that niche will make itself. Does that make sense?
Well, it's almost sounds like anyone who has an obstacle that they need to overcome, whatever that obstacle may be, what you're putting out there could be what helps them get through it.
Oh yeah, because in a year from now, in 2 years, I'm going to be in a completely different place because one, I'm growing fast, you know? So I look at myself from 6 months ago and I'm thinking that's a completely different person.
Wow.
I always say this, that every year, with people who are not familiar with this, I say that at least if you think of yourself where you were and what you were doing a year ago, you should feel pretty dumb that what you were doing compared to what you're doing and how much you learned.
Oh my gosh, I look back at who I was a year, 2 years ago, I'm thinking, I just want to shake my head. Wake up, bud, wake up.
That should be a goal for everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
But otherwise you will get stuck forever.
For sure. But I mean, I think, you know, the niche will come because in a year from now, I'll be able to train and lift and work out and exercise and be, you know, I'll be traveling around the world back riding my bike. But now it's a whole new perspective, you know, because now it's like, I'm going to live my best life of my absolute dreams and do everything that I want to accomplish in order to create something that's going to help other people do the same thing. And I want to bring everybody up around me, not just the ones around me, but a random person on the street, a random person. If I'm going to Europe, you know, I want to help as many people as possible. And that's my goal and that's my motivation. And I think everything else finds its place.
And now that you have, by the way, a big audience, I mean, around 100,000 people is a really good audience to audit, for example.
Yeah.
So once you realize on aiming that what you want to stand for, which you already know, but meaning like how you can target to the people, want to recreate all the fans that you have, then the best way to literally do it is obviously look at who is looking at your content the most, who is consuming it on the most, and then who is actually taking action on it the most. And then now you found your niche market. And then after that, you can create a lookalike audience. And then you basically retarget to them, and then they go to your website, you market back to them, and then all of a sudden, from 100,000, you go to 1 million. You know what I mean? Because of now you know exactly who is the one who most needs this, the content that you're creating.
You know, and what's interesting is when you're finding your truest self, that I find is attracted to you. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I started creating this content of what's helping me because I realized I was making strides and leaps of progressing myself. And you know, the number one thing that has helped me is that breathing and the Wim Hof breathing and the meditation, all that. And I don't think it's a coincidence that those are my most popular videos. You know, and those are the people who are following me and watching me the most to understand this more about this breathing, because that's what's helped me the most, you know? And I've put that down, and that's what I'm so passionate about, because I'm telling you, that has changed my life. You know, like that's what started everything. That's what started that inertia, that ball rolling. And when I'm putting that out there, there's 8 billion people in the world. Whatever that you're feeling, that you're doing, there's people who can resonate to that. There's people who can relate to that. It doesn't matter if it's fitness, if it's books, if it's whatever it is. There are a lot of people who think the way you think and feel the way you think. They just don't know maybe how to express it, you know? So once you dive into that deeply, you know, the more you understand it, the more you'll be able to express it. And the more you can understand and learn something, the more you can help, because you'll teach other people how to express it.
Do you coach people right now?
I have that online program, but as far as I have a weekly coaching at the local BMX track that me and my roommate, who's also a pro BMXer as well, which is really cool that we start off. We don't charge a lot of money or anything like that for it. It's only like $15, and it's pretty much I invite all of the local pros in the area, and there's a lot of local pros in this area. And then we invite all the kids who want to ride with the pros, because when I was a kid, I wanted to ride with the pros. I wanted to see what they're doing. I wanted to beat them. You know what I mean? So if every single Wednesday at the local track, it's just an hour right before the regular practice. So we show up and we have our full tent set up, and sometimes 5 kids show up, sometimes 20 kids show up, and then that's the main coaching that I do. And it could be anywhere from a 3-year-old just learning how to ride a bike to a 45-year-old with his kid just wanting to get better. And that's right now the main coaching that I'm doing, other than making my videos. You know, like I said, I was a personal trainer before, where I would spend my time, okay, I'm helping this single person, I'm coaching this single person for this hour, I'm coaching this single person for this hour. But like I said before, I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And when I sat down and reflected upon that, and I thought about that, video and internet, it all, it all came back to the internet. And a year ago, I couldn't figure out how to turn my computer on and get my computer on the internet. Like, a computer was just daunting to me. You know what I mean? Like it was just, I don't want anything to do with it. You know, just let me live my life.
I'm so glad you said that, because lots of people say, oh, I don't know how to upload, I don't know how to edit videos, I don't know how to, they always say that, and then you just said it basically that you did it.
I knew nothing but how to ride a bike and smile.
Oh, that reminds me, guys, you can learn this, by the way. So there is this place. So if you could write this all down, just write it out. It's www.google.com, and you can type in anything you want. That's Google, and you type in anything that you want, and there will be a video. It might be his. You know, that will actually come up.
And that's how it started. It is like, one, I mean, literally when it was bad, I couldn't figure out how to get my email, and I couldn't how to get my computer on the internet. Like I just brought to a store, said, help me. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. But past that, like learning how to edit and learning how to video,
it's advanced.
YouTube. Like you can learn anything on Google, you know, because I'm pretty sure that's the same as Google and YouTube. Mm-hmm. And you can learn absolute everything, which is not only, I mean, it's just an opportunity. You can learn anything that you want to learn and then have your own spin on it and then teach whatever you want to teach.
Exactly.
You know, because these kids, especially the younger generation, they're not relying on their parents and their teachers for information. Like they're consuming content all day. You know, if I want to learn how to, you know, bake a potato, you know, I'm not going to call, I mean, me personally, I'm not going to call my mom and ask her. I'm going to go on YouTube how to bake a potato, and they'll have me 1,000 different recipes of all these, you know, and I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'll probably make the best potato you ever had.
This is exactly why, though, back in the time, video, the internet, you know, is what you just said, is why we have so much obesity, because that's what happened back in the time. So usually the obese families pass down obesity to the next generation, because...
And then they blamed it on genetics and
exactly.
DNA when it's habits.
The habits, exactly right. Yeah. So it's not, you guys, that's one of the main reasons, by the way. But okay, so let's backtrack a little bit again, and then let's go into YouTube, because you have told me last week about how YouTube and your social media influence also help you with basically literally paying for your treatment too, right?
Yeah.
So can you explain that, or how that even happened, and how somebody could do that too?
Yeah, for sure. So it was when I was first learning how to create, like, it just got to the point where it was decent enough. You know what I mean? To where like these videos were actually doing good. They're making some sense and some pretty decent editing to where it's consumable. Because at first, you know, it's not how it works. And that's when most people quit. Oh, this looks like crap. I'm going to just turn this off. So yeah, at first when I was making these videos, they weren't turning out like that great, you know, and I'm still only 8 months into it, and they're still nowhere near to the caliber I plan on wanting them. But when I first started, and then the videos were getting pretty consumable and pretty good, I wanted to do stem cells, you know, because I wanted a stem cell treatment on my knee. I was doing everything I possibly could to help my knee recover, except I wasn't resting enough, you know. And then I went to meet with a stem cell doctor, and he said, you got to stop everything for the next 7 months, and we're going to do these stem cells. And I ended up saving a bunch of money because he was seeing all the videos that I was creating. I had my manager come in, and he talked to him as well about everything I have going on. And we built a fantastic relationship. I videoed the whole process. And when I was videoing the process, I wasn't thinking, okay, how can I make this video about me, a pro athlete, trying to get these stem cells to make my, you know, to do what I was trying to do. But I started thinking, who would need stem cells? What would they search, and how would they search it? What would they be looking for? What would they click on? You know? So then most people who think about stem cells, they don't really know much about it. They're scared. They're not sure how it works. So I just showed them that, you know? So I just, as simple as it can be, I just showed the whole process of stem cells, which is completely pain-free. You know, they numb the situation. It's not, you know, and they took the stem cell, and you can take the stem cells from any different area, but they took it from my back and put it straight into my knee. I videoed the whole entire process, and then I tagged it correctly, and now all of a sudden, if you search stem cell treatment on YouTube, I'm one of the top 5 videos that show up. Wow. And then when I went back to them and I showed them, hey, look, our video's ranked. You know, it's ranked in the top 10, it's ranked in the top 5, and that's what helps the views, you know, is not like creating a brand is one thing, that's great, but I want my views to, especially right now, to go past my brand. You know, I want them, you know, to be more popular than me. You know, and more people know about stem cells than they do Will Grant.
Exactly.
More people will be searching stem cells than they'll be searching Will Grant. More people will be searching how to fix obesity than searching Daniel.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what I focused on. And I try to think about creating the video that when I was first learning about this, what did I want to see? What would have helped me when I was going through that same process? And that's really what all my videos have been about, is me overcoming something, me learning something, me growing in some way, and then me putting it in a content format in order to make it simpler for the next guy trying to go through the same process.
That's exactly how we created a podcast too, to try to help trainers and gym owners that how we go through all this process and able to create a content just like you sitting here and telling them now how to use YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
And so do you want to share that, how much it helped you with the stem cells as far as value-wise?
Yeah, man, I'm so, like, I feel like it's been a prison sentence. You know, I say that, but a lot of people learn a lot in prison. You know what I mean? And to be able to sit me in one spot in my house and, you know, and just to have my time, my body to heal. You know, it was meant to heal myself physically, but man, did I heal mentally, and man, did I heal spiritually. And now I spoke with the doctor last week, and they say I have about 6 weeks that we're gonna hope 6 weeks until I'm back on the bike. Awesome. And I can't wait. And like I said, I've been stuck on 4,000 steps. Now I'm getting out, I'm getting ready to start moving, and now I'm really about to see what I'm capable of accomplishing.
That's so awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. So I've just been incubating for the past 8 months, essentially. Is just getting ready to blossom, and then watch out, because it's coming.
Well, you did the absolute right thing when you're stuck. I mean, you made the most out of that 8 months that you could. Most people find a way to just kind of self-loathe and go down.
Well,
watch Netflix.
I've done that, you know, like when I first turned pro, and when I turned pro when I was 16, 3 months later I tore my ACL. And I was out for like a year. My first race back, I retore it. Out for another year. My first race back, I broke my heel. So when I was like 17 to 20, I lost it all. But instead of doing what I did this time, I went to a lot of drugs, alcohol, partying, you know, just really the complete opposite. You know, and then when I had the opportunity, I finally got healed up to go back into BMX. It was all about myself and what I can accomplish and what I can do, and everything about how great I can make myself. And then it's funny how the universe tells you, no. You know, like, you still got more to learn. And then it kept giving me all these signs with this breaking, but then I just ride through the breaking bone, you know, and then with this falling apart, and I just push through until it took when I lost everything, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually, and I'm broken down and I have nothing but pieces to build.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, if there's one thing that anybody can take away from this episode, is that it's not about you. So, I mean, everything that you put out there is all about what you can provide to somebody else. So for anybody who's trying to build a YouTube channel or an Instagram following or anything, like, you know, don't fake it till you make it. Just be yourself and be real and see what you could provide to other people. So, you know,
and thinking that it was about me is what brought me to my lowest point, because I'm a very extreme person. Everything I do is extreme. You know, so when I have consequences, I have bad consequences. You know, and so when it took that to take everything away to realize, like, okay, it's weird, because when I start doing things it started off with just my roommate and, you know, the people I care about and the closest people around me, just to make their day a little bit better, made my day better. You know, like, how? Because then I have a happier roommate. Then I have happier friends. And when you and energy is energy. When you have happy people around you, it's hard to be miserable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so then it's like that saying that I love: think global and act local. You know, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that, but, you know, if I want a happy world, if I want this world to be great, like, how can I make, you know, the person I see the most have a better day, and then that'll in turn give me a better day, and then everything falls.
But also the other saying too, that if you want to have $1 million, you just need to help 1 million people.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And
the more people you help, the more value you bring. You know, because that's all money is. Money is just an exchange of value.
Yep.
You know, and then if you don't have enough money, you're not bringing enough value.
Yeah. And that's why so many people, by the way, that say that all the time. I mean, who said that? I think it was Lincoln, maybe. But anyways, there was
I love Abraham Lincoln. I've seen that book.
The book is right there, my
Good
favorite book.
Oh man,
yeah, that's my absolute favorite book.
Read it all the time.
But and it has the most notes too. But yeah, it's that basically. I forgot my last. What was my thought? We'll remember.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on. So you gave the perfect recipe that how to actually create content on YouTube. Now, how did you get? So because you had lots of followers on YouTube, so how did you just start creating content and the viewers and the subscribers came, or you promoted it on your Instagram or Facebook, or do you have anything going in there, or what would you recommend to people? Yeah.
So what I've found is it's really hard to get people to change platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. If someone's swiping down on Instagram, they're swiping down on Instagram. They're not really ready to go watch a 5-10 minute YouTube video. They're looking to waste 3-4 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have to optimize for each platform essentially, and so and YouTube is the most kind of detailed, because it's the longer videos. So I will video something for YouTube, and then I'll take little snippets to help my Instagram. So I won't post so much of like my whole Instagram is just getting people to go to my YouTube, but I'm taking little value snippets from my YouTube. And how can I fit this into my Instagram version? So you seen in the last episode, I'll be filming with Leo once a week, and that'll give me content for the next usually week to 10 days of being posting every day, a couple times a day on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that.
So you post. Tell that to also the audience, please. How much do you post usually?
I try to post every single day. Do I post every?
Sorry, when you mean post, not just stories, actual posts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Stories is just extra. You know what I mean? Like stories is just extra. But I try to post every single day. Like there's times where, say I'm at a race filming for mainly BMX stuff, and it gets hard to post, because I'm behind the camera the whole time. But yeah, I try to post every single day. And what I found is every single post bring value, and that value is a free advertisement to everything you're selling.
Exactly.
So don't try to put, hey, buy this, buy that, buy this.
No. Yeah.
Just give them some value to where they would want to watch it if they weren't buying anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then from there, if you give them enough value to where they watch 5 or 10 things, and then they'll probably be ready to buy something.
Did you hear that?
Jab,
Jab, right hook.
Right.
Have you read the book, Gary Vaynerchuk?
No, but you told me about it last time, and I bought the book, Crushing It, and I'm halfway through it already.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's
really
good. It's good.
What really cool is that you just said, so there's I forgot what's her name. She's in the book, but she became a YouTube influencer, and I think her followers were like only about 60,000, and she's been doing it for a few years, and she's making a living off of it. And you already have basically almost 100,000 on YouTube, right?
Well, the altogether with all the platforms, it's like 130, right?
Yeah.
Maybe no, actually, probably it's raising every day on YouTube.
Exactly.
But YouTube itself, it's just 10,000 subscribers.
Got it.
It's every day I look at it,
it goes up and up. And
it's going up. Like every single video or content that I create is free advertisements for all my other videos.
Exactly.
For my whole website, for everything. Even though I'm not directly like saying that, but there's links to it in the descriptions. It plays back to the next one. It's interesting. It's cool.
Do you interact with your people? Like they're commenting, you're commenting back, you're doing all that?
I try to. Hugely important.
Yeah. Yes. That's something that I've learned also, and for sure, because before, when it was all about myself, all these people were my fans. You know what I mean? Like now it's like all these people are just opportunities to help. Like people, like it's crazy to get messages. Now I'm getting messages almost daily of like me just saying that I'm changing their life.
Yeah.
And it's like,
best
holy
thing ever.
Like,
how does it make you feel?
Like, I can't describe it. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, and to get people, like, I strongly believe that the more we breathe and the more oxygen that we take in, that not only the healthier we'll be physically, but the clearer that our minds will work.
Yep.
And just getting people to take in deep breaths and to breathe deeper, it's making the world a better place.
Yeah.
You know, like the more we're all breathing, the better this whole world is going to be, because the clear our whole perspective to realize, like, hey, it's not all about me. You know, it's not all about me. And then it's one thing leads to another, like everything.
Exactly.
It's that momentum.
Think about, I'm very glad that you brought this up because so many people confused about social media. Everybody thinks that those people are their fans and they're better than their fans, so they won't reply back to the comments. But the thing is, it's a community that you're creating. And if you're not showing up for your own community, how do you expect to create it?
Those people who are commenting, like those are your best followers. You know what I mean? Those are your ones who you're engaging. You want to engage back. You want to build a friendship to where they really feel like they know you, you know? And again, it's not just for yourself, but if you're really doing this to help people and they comment a question of like, hey, how do you do this breathing? And you don't even respond to them, then why even make the video in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, so even though it can be time consuming, but look, if I have 5-10 minutes instead of swiping down my Instagram consuming content, I could go and respond to all the people who commented on mine. So yeah, if you do watch my stuff, comment on my stuff, ask any questions you want, and I will be more than happy to answer them in any way I can in order to help as much as I can.
And guys, that when they don't comment though, because you know at the beginning there's not gonna be much, but the thing is, people consume it all the time without commenting, because what's going on is that, for example, I go to Cassis, which is a bakery down the street. I go to Whole Foods all the time, and people recognize me. They come up to me, and they're like, recognize, oh, I watched your video, I watched this, I see you on YouTube, you're like a celebrity, even though I'm not, by any means, by the way. But they say those things, and I always make fun of them, not in a good way, by the way. I always, if you're watching, thank you, by the way. But what I say is that, oh, that's interesting, you saw that? And then they say, oh yeah, I love it. Well, I didn't see you liking or commenting on it. So
that's good. See, well, that's a good way to get it in there too. And, you know, and the more comments that your post has, the more that platform shows.
Exactly.
You know, so for example, if you have 10 comments, right? Then all of a sudden, if you responded to every one, now you have 20 comments. Okay.
Yep.
And then you have 20 comments, and that builds into that algorithm of, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube or Instagram, that now all of a sudden it's going to show more people because there's more engagement.
Exactly.
So the more of the engagement is on each post, the more people it shows, like that's what brings anything viral.
And sorry, I have to add this into it right away, because we talk about this every single time, what you just said. That's the perfect formula, what you said, for gym owners and personal trainers, because it lowers their advertisement cost so much when you create value content like you just said. And the more they are engaging, and that's why I hate to see that when gym owners have these comments on their ads and they don't reply back, because that just kills it right there. So you need to reply back. What Will said is literally what the formula, what you need to do if you want more leads, more clients, and giving more value.
And that's just retargeting. You know, they say that your best and easiest customers are the customers you already have. You know, so by these people commenting, they're interested, they want it, you know what I mean? Like they like what you're saying, you know, engage with them back. And that's how you know, again, I don't like to say it because it's not all to get the customer, because it's all to help the person. But when you're engaging, that's your opportunity to help. And when you're bringing value, that's what brings the money.
But even just commenting what you just said, think about this. Even if it's just a small comment, I mean, think if you're a fan of, let's say, Will Smith, I know Michelangelo is a fan of it, and I mean, imagine if me too, and he's amazing. His Instagram is just top
he's
of the
killing
line.
it on YouTube
And YouTube too.
Have you seen his YouTube?
I have to check it out now. I have not. But when somebody comments and he actually replies back, you know, I mean, imagine if you comment and like, oh, hey, Will, you know, like, how you been doing, and you know something, then all of a sudden he made your day.
That's how I figured this out. You know, because I commented on a YouTube channel, and then I seen that I don't even think they commented back. I think they liked it, right? But I seen that their name in my notifications, and I'm like, oh, they say my name, like that's sweet, you know, like, and then once I realized the impact that had on me, and then during my meditating, you know, like it's not that it comes to it, but when you can process that information through the breathing and through the meditating, then all of a sudden your best idea comes. Hey, your highest self starts to speak to you if you can just shut your brain up. You know what I mean? If you shut your brain up, then you're, hey, do you remember how you felt when he commented back to you? Imagine if you did that to the 20 people who just commented.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Parita had that experience too.
I was going to say, remember when it happened to me?
Yeah.
It was Grant Cardone. I was like, yes!
Really?
Grant!
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
It's amazingly impactful to now all of a sudden you go from just following somebody that you might unfollow in 2 to 3 weeks to now you got a relationship.
Exactly. You said the magic word right there. Yeah. That is so important. And that's what most people don't understand. Unfortunately, they just want the fans, the followers, and the customers without giving any value and any humanity.
And then they get the result that they're looking. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, what I've noticed is people who they're not, okay, why is this not working for me? Mm-hmm. And I've learned this for myself. Why is this not working for me? Well, because their intentions, their mindset, everything is not aligned correctly, and they're getting what they should get.
Yeah.
When you're bringing in value, everything falls in place.
Now you might remembered what I forgot. So
Abraham Lincoln.
What he said is that if somebody wants to get, let's say, if you give a service and if you deliver above and beyond, let's say even if you charge a little, but you work more than the person who charge a lot and work less or whatever. Anytime, whatever service you get hired to do, just make sure you go above and beyond because you end up having to earn more money at the end, even though that wasn't your intention.
Exactly.
It works every time.
Again, same thing. That happened to me, and it opened my eyes to where there's, a pair of shoes for bike riding, right? I bought a pair of shoes. Oakley does the same thing. Costa does the same thing. A lot of really good brands do the same thing. But anyways, I bought a pair of clip shoes, and the shoes came in, and I'm all excited. I'm going to be buying these clip shoes, right? And I open the box and I get the clip shoes, but I also get a little mini bag, a little backpack, a sweet little stringer bag to put the clip shoes in. And then all of a sudden you get a little bit extra. Yeah. And then I got more than what I paid for to where man, I can't wait to buy my next pair of clip shoes, Like Oakley does the same thing because they give you this sick glasses case, a nice little rag, wipe to wipe it down. And just that over delivering, it makes you feel like, wow, what a great experience. And then if you notice the way you feel, be mindful of where your mind goes and be mindful of how things around make you feel, and then you can recreate those good feelings to give other people those good feelings. Exactly.
It's all about the experience, guys.
And this is why you, as personal trainer, gym owner, you guys have to focus on the client and not just collect their money. That's why we created For You Fitness, because the hell approach that all the personal trainers been using was that they butter you up, they tell you that you're so amazing, you're my best friend, everything, and then once you pay and become a customer, then all of a sudden you arrive to hell and they don't care about you anymore because you already paid, and then you ask what happened. They're gonna say, well, yesterday you were my prospect, today you're my paid client, so get out.
And that's why clients eventually they'll start dwindling away, and you're always having to work to get more and more and more.
Exactly.
But it's definitely a different thinking of, are you working the 9 to 5 or are you putting that investments? And building a relationship is like building an investment. It's an asset that's going to pay later on. And the more you put into that, it's not like it just goes away, It just keeps building and building and building that trust, that relationship, that love, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
I hate to wrap this up, but we can go on forever on this because you gave some amazing value to not just gym owners and personal trainers, but anybody in life who could take some action on this and become a completely different person. Just remember that the goal should be that from last year and eventually month to month, even another day, by the way, the amount that you can consume and learn is just when you think back how you did what you did a year ago, you should feel pretty dumb that what you were doing then and what you're doing now. I think that would be pretty cool if everybody would be able to do that.
If you're doing the same thing that you were doing last year, you're standing still. And nothing in the universe, nothing in nature sits still. Everything is constantly moving. Everything is constantly progressing and changing in some way. So if you're not changing, you're dying.
And this is why, if you guys seen the TV show with Al Bundy, I forgot what it's called, Married with Kids, is that what it's called? Yeah. So Al Bundy is stuck in his life, as in he used to be a quarterback for his high school team or something and had a touchdown. In almost every episode he says that. And then, I'm pretty sure you guys can think of friends who are the same way. Oh, I used to be a pro athlete and now they are 50 and this was at 21,
How much they used to bench.
Exactly the same thing, You need to constantly keep moving and not get stuck,
exactly.
Anyways, Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome. It's actually my first podcast I've ever been on.
Now the second.
Yeah, second. Yeah,
that's
this
awesome.
is sweet.
It was just such great value for all the listeners, for everybody else, for me as well. I can't wait to start meditating and more.
That was my whole point.
Yeah.
That was my whole point. So
Great.
I'm glad it was a mission successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you again very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It.
I really appreciate it.
Guys, share, rate, do everything that you need to do, and please comment too, and you will see. We will reply back. Go check out Will. It's thewillgrant.com, right?
Thewillgrant.com.
And go there. You find all his content. It's going to be amazing, I promise you.